Hello, here the beautiful thing is. The color is kind of weird, but I got a discount too for getting this color. This is called gray. And if I wanted something like brown that would have went with my other furniture or something like that, it would have been more expensive. Maybe 20 bucks more expensive, 10 bucks more expensive, something like that. So I went with this, the gray. All right, I'm sorry this is a tell video rather than a show video, but I was really going to take forever building this thing, so that wasn't really possible. But I'm going to go through every step of it, so if you weren't satisfied by my video called Money Bloom, funny name, right? Like the money is just getting more and more and more from selling these things or something. I guess that's what that means. Money Bloom. That's what it said on the package with all the hardware and everything. So I assume that's the company, but I don't know. It just said something like storage unit on the thing. Okay. I think it's really good quality. I think it was great for $109. I don't know that I need another one of these, but I could certainly fit it. I could fit two more if I wanted to. And I just checked. I can still get them for $109 on Amazon. So that's great. It came really fast. I think like 3 days or something like that. It came really super fast. FedEx did a good job of delivering it. So that was awesome. And okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to go into how to build this thing, and then I'm going to show you all my models and everything. That's why this name is two different things. It's Dust Free 4 and Proxy 2. So that's why it's got two names, because I don't want to disappoint anybody on what I've done in my Proxy or Dust Free videos. I just kind of want to do everything and show you everything where the state of my hobby is right now. So if you want to scroll past how I built this thing and just go to where I start showing the models, that's fine. That works. Okay. Check your subscription status, please. And also drop me a like if you like this video, and make a comment. I respond to all my comments. Okay, so the first thing I did is just really try to figure this thing out. So here's the instructions that came with it. And it started out confusing me by talking about the latch. And it's like the latch is like the last thing I put on. So why are we talking about that now? And then I looked at this and it said aligning shelves and brackets, and it didn't look anything like my unit. And something on there said that maybe you can use these instructions. Oh, views slightly, installation varies slightly between different shelf tiers, but overall steps are applicable as described in this manual. No, they are not. Okay? You will never get by with this. You're going to have to figure it out. If you're not mechanically inclined and you can figure it out on your own, you're going to have to watch this video to put one of these things together. And it was a real struggle. I had to sit there and think and look at the parts for a long, long time before I figured this thing out. So none of this looks at all like mine. What confused me the most is when it sorry, when it started talking about a door installation. That didn't look anything like my door. And then this here with the metal bars. And I was like, well, I was shorted. I don't have any metal bars. And then I was like, well, look at this. This is not what my thing looks like at all. So it was really crazy. And then it showed this back here. And it doesn't look anything like mine. Mine has plexiglass on the back, and this is showing something with a solid back. So how did I put this thing together? As in my other video, Money Bloom, I said that I found the side part. Now, I thought maybe the side part was wood and just the back was plexiglass. But as it turned out, on 4 sides, the back, the front, and the 2 sides is plexiglass, which is really great because the thing is really easy to see your models in. I just absolutely love it. Compared to these things that I used to get, where only the front was plexiglass. And yeah, you can shine a light right into it. Better yet, if you remove the plexiglass, you can kind of see what's in the front of the tray, right? This is way better than that. So I found the side parts, and the side parts looked like they were solid wood, but they weren't. They were just really well painted over all the plexiglass, which was covered by a plastic sheet. And it looked like it was just wood, but it was actually plexiglass underneath there. But those were the 2 sides. And those were the longest and biggest parts. And then I had to find the bottom, like I said in my Money Bloom video. And the bottom had just on the flat part for the top where the models go, it had just a groove on the top. And then I found the top, and on the flat part, again, it had just a groove on the bottom. And it also had grooves on the sides for the plex. Did it have grooves on the side? I'm trying to think now. Darn, I wish I knew that. Yeah, I'm thinking that it... No, that's just... Okay, it had it on the back, and because that's where the plexiglass goes. The other part on the sides, the plexiglass is just in a wooden frame, and it's all painted over, so you can't even really tell it's plexiglass until you peel that stuff off. Okay, so it was grooved in the back for the plexiglass on the bottom, and this one was grooved in the back for the plexiglass at the top. And then all the other pieces, and it didn't matter which where you put them, the 3 shelves in the middle, because it's a 5-shelf unit, it also came in 4. The 5-shelf unit, the 3 parts in the middle had a groove both on the top and the bottom. So I put the screws in, and it used a hex key or Allen wrench, as we like to call them, a hex wrench. I think some people call them too. I know some people call them that. To put the side on. And the easiest way, and it did show this in the instructions, where all of these, the bottom, the top, and the 3 middle pieces were just attached to one side. And then what you could do is, wearing the gloves that they give you, you could take the plexiglass out of the cover, the protective cover, and you have to do that before you put it together, because otherwise it's tough to get the plastic sheet out from between the wood and the plexiglass, which it was on all the other parts that they had. And there's still a remainder. You can see up in the upper left corner, there's a remainder of it, so I'll be picking that out for a while. I'll get it all, trust me, but it'll take me a while. Then I put the pegs in the front doors, like I showed, and slid them along that long groove that they slide on. So I'll show you that long groove, how it works. See, it can slide on that long groove. It's really nice because the lid will stay up. You don't have to put it somewhere like those ones up there. Okay, and then you have to remember what side you have fingerprints on, which is, I tried to just keep at the top of that. This is real nice as far as that goes. And then I put the other side on, and whenever I assemble something, this is a general rule of assembly, you never tighten something all the way. So I would leave it loose with probably a 2 centimeter gap, almost an inch gap in the thing, so that I could get it all to fit. And sure enough, some of that plexiglass would jump out of the groove and everything, and I'd have to work with it to get it to pop back in. Luckily, plexiglass is really hard to break, so you can kind of work with it a lot without damaging it, so that's kind of nice. Then, one thing that I struggled with is these doors always coming off the rail, and I thought maybe these pegs up here were for these middle parts. See where there's a hole there on either side? And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But what those pegs are for is to hold that door so it stays in the track. So definitely put those in once you get your doors in there. There is a magnet that goes at the front that attaches to this piece of metal here. And in every case, I put it as far forward as I could, except for one where it had to be on one side far forward and the other side all the way back. That's the only way that it was straight. It sounds like I would have done something like that working in the factory, right? Once I got bored. Didn't drill my hole straight. But that was only on one of them that I had to do that. And once I did that, once I put it as far forward as it would go, I didn't have to adjust it any further. Make sure when you put the knob on, there's a screw that goes through this metal plate into the knob. The knob is threaded. Make sure that there's little nubs on the side of the hole, little bumps. Make sure that those go into the wood. And what that'll do is it'll create friction. Those little nubs will create friction, those little bumps, so that this thing doesn't turn as easily. Still hold it and hold the end of the screw as you're turning the knob on, but you won't even need a tool to do it, which saves you a lot of time. The screwdriver that comes with it, I used for those little screws, and usually those screwdrivers that come with these things are really bad. In this case, the screwdriver worked perfectly fine. It was really good. It is not you. Those screws don't really fit in the plastic, so they kind of go in there on an angle a little bit, and then they kind of make a groove in the side of the plastic. It's the wrong size head for the screws on there, so it's not your fault. Then you begin to, once you got this thing put together, you begin to take the plexiglass off the front and the two sides. And what they've done for you is there was a little place where normally it's stuck under this frame, so it's really hard to get it out from under there. But what they've done is they've loosened it in one corner. So look for that one corner. If you can't get a grip on it, especially if you're wearing the gloves, probably at this point you could probably take the gloves off and do it. But if you don't, and you're having trouble gripping it, you can use your little hex key, your little Allen wrench, and as long as you're on the plastic coating on the window, you won't scratch it. You can use that to kind of get a hold of and kind of slide the plastics so you can get a grip on it. I had to do that a lot in order to do it. And then it's just like removing a sticker where if it starts to tear on the inside, leaving some hanging on the edge, start from somewhere else, right? And then get it the best you can. In every place, there's probably some that I'm going to have to remove later on. I'm probably just going to have to pull on it and maybe use a tweezers or whatever. The better grip you can get on it, the more likely it is to come out of there. If you just got a small grip on it, you're more likely to tear it. I wouldn't recommend cutting it away with the razor blade. Probably not a good idea, because that razor blade's definitely going to score the plexiglass. let me see. Then go through and tighten all the screws on the sides. Move in a star pattern, maybe do the very bottom left and the very top right, and kind of move like in a random pattern. Not really random, more regular, but kind of like in a zigzag going around it, so that you're not putting too much pressure in any place at once, because then the other screws won't line up. So that's a general rule of mechanics, is to tighten everything a little bit at a time, and then go back and retighten everything completely at the end once everything is kind of tight. And I really like the fact, I didn't know why it had plexiglass in the back, but that's really good, especially I have it against those magic card containers, and it's actually allowing a lot of light to come in through the back. It's night now, but I was doing this during the day, and I could actually see what I was doing really, really well. And the models look really good in there. Now, you still can't see the models in the back as well, just because they're being covered by the ones in the front. But I'm thinking about getting a thin piece of sheet metal and just putting that on the bottom, maybe some magnets on the models or whatever, and then I can just pull it out. I could pull it out of the sheet metal. I don't know how thick the sheet metal needs to be to not be kind of flexible. The galvanized sheet metal I have right now is a little bit flexible. I'd like it to not flex so that the models are more stable on there. And like the side doesn't bend down and all the models fall off of there. And then one other thing too, there are, and this is another reason that I'm saying I may not have to buy another one of these. This really confused me, these holes right here. I didn't know what to do with those holes. What that is now you'll have to buy the pegs, and they have certain pegs designed for this that hold shelves, and you could put another shelf in there. Now my elves there are too high, but my destruction army, okay, looks like even with that wyvern in there, it's going less than halfway up. I could put another shelf in there and have twice as much in that cabinet. So this cabinet could actually store just a ton. I think the same thing with my death army there. It doesn't look like my zombie dragon 3D print is too tall. Definitely my chaos army up there, I could do that. I could put another shelf in. I could even make new holes for the elf army, and if I put in a piece of plexiglass as my shelf, I don't think it's so big to where it would flop. I think it would be pretty flat, or even put a frame around it. I think I could make my own holes, 4 holes on the side with the drill, and I'll probably use a I gotta think of the name of the thing. Dremel tool. Yeah, I'll probably use like a Dremel tool for it because it's a little smaller and I could get in there. And I could make a shelf in there. Now, albeit it would hold about 3-inch tall models, it wouldn't hold those big, you know, like, it looks like that big forest dragon back there is, you know, a good 6 inches tall or whatever. So it looks like each one of those things is maybe a foot high. So maybe that forest dragon is 7-8 inches tall. So that's a really good thing about it. Okay, I'm going to be moving around a lot, and this vertical format for the phone works out really well. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to be moving around a bit. I'll probably be pointing at the floor as I adjust my light and stuff like that. So be ready. It's not going to be the best video production, but you will get to see what I've been working on lately. And I've been working just a ton, even though I haven't made videos. I've just been really, really enjoying Old World and building all kinds of armies for it. So I'll get my ladder out. and show you what's up in there. I had everything crammed in there. I don't know how I did it. Well, I had things on top of each other and everything, which is never good for a paint job, right? Okay, I won't go specifically into things that I've already done, but I've done a lot more with ogres. Now I need to take out the ones, like I took this one from the Destruction Army, the Orc and Goblins, and I put him in here because he's an abomination. So he fit better in this Chaos Army than he did in the Orc and Goblin Army. And I took something else that looked like more like a Destruction one and put it in that army. So I have a lot more of that to do. I'm thinking like these two guys probably go in the Destruction Army, and then I'll pull out some like zombie-looking ogres and put in here. Let's see what else is new. I've done a little bit of more painting on The Witcher Old World, a little bit more painting on the bugbears and stuff like that from when you've last seen it. This is just a zenithal on this Witcher Old World guy. I've done some more painting on the Arena of the Planeswalkers, Magic the Gathering. Those are a couple 3D prints that I got, these barbarians. And those guys on horses are 3D prints. They're kind of small, though, for my liking. Lots of ogres and stuff. Anything that at all resembled an ogre, I would use. There's some bugbears in here that I'll probably move to be trolls in Destruction Army. That's one weird thing about Warhammer, and my wife agrees with me, is that it's weird that trolls are bigger than ogres, because we would think the opposite. And also some of these have been iridescent painted since you've seen them too. All right, let me get my ladder, and we'll look at what's remaining up in the old storage containers. Now I'll still use these to take them to an LGS to play the game. But the dragons were just too much for this stuff. And also, I'm probably not going to make a lot of friends if I have a level 4 wizard on a dragon wearing plate armor. I'm probably not going to be everybody's friend if I do that anyways, right? There's some 3D printed extra weapons that I have. All the 3D print companies that I dealt with on eBay, I've been super happy with all that stuff. In one case, it took like 2 months to come, but then they sent me extra stuff and everything, and the prices were so cheap because the shipping was like the same price as the models, and then what they ended up doing was dropping all the shipping, and then they gave me like a discount beyond that and everything. So what started out as a price X ended up being like 60% of X or whatever. By the time I just kept it in my my cart or whatever it's called in eBay, and then just let them give me offers. Now it probably works because I'm a super good customer at eBay. I don't really complain a lot. If I'm not too happy with something, I might choose to just suck it up just to be a good customer, right? Sometimes just get over it. All right. So I think that's pretty much chaos. And as Warhammer would say, all these armies have gone beyond their original scope. That was originally a 4,000 point army. It's much more now, and I have plans for it to get much bigger. The Chaos Dragon now really looks small to me, so that's a $10 toy, like I said in my other video. I'm gonna try to build something else for that. It's just tough to find two-headed dragons, but I can probably make something too by adding another head. What I do now is I search all the time, Amazon and eBay, for 28mm dragons. All right, then here's my Death Army. So I made a video about the Necrarch on the Abyssal Horror or Terror, I can't remember. This guy was moved to that horse. This guy, I broke his staff. Now I'm going to have to end up, and that's why these particular things are starting to make me unhappy. I didn't realize how high that thing was, and I put the shelf in and I broke that thing. And it was so beautifully painted by the guy that I bought it on eBay for it. I feel really bad, so I'm going to have to buy just a bit of it and just paint it exactly like he had it in order to be happy. And I gave it some iridescent paint. This is a new one that I got. This is a Terrorgeist, and I just painted with Viejo Israeli sand, and I really like the way it turned out. It's got a Strigoi Ghoul King on the back. And then I have a Lego compatible Lich King from World of Warcraft riding on this Revenant dragon. And then there's another 3D printed one back there. I was thinking he really looks a lot like the Terrorgeist. I can see that he really does, like the way his wings are and everything, although they're not tattered like that. But he's just a little small for my taste, you know. But that can be an advantage sometimes. If you want to have something a little smaller to bring to an LGS, if somebody's not too mad at you for having a level 4 wizard on a zombie dragon or a Terrorgeist, then that'll be a good thing. I've started putting some of my terrain, so I have some terrain for death. I'm going to be getting chaos terrain. I hear that Warcraft is releasing some in a new set for Slaves to Darkness, so I'm excited about that. Nice magnet closures. And then I have my Destruction Army. Now here's where I'm going to ask for your patience. And the light's going to go all wonky, because I am going to lower this light source. Whoa. That hurt. Hit me in the head. But now you can see it lit up, right? Okay. So you've seen that before. That's my weird knob, or weird knob on a wyvern. But I've given him a little bit more of a paint job, like under the wings and stuff like that. I've been watching shows on how they paint it, trying to make it look a little better. I do a little bit on all these. I don't really finish anything, but I completely work over everything. So everything's at a certain state. And you can see how big my my trolls are compared to my ogres, so that's a weird thing that I'm kind of having to work around, do a paradigm shift on that. I've gotten a lot of Reaper Bones, ogres, and trolls and stuff like that, and I've really been enjoying getting that stuff. You can get a lot of it on Amazon. There's a guy too where I'm just waiting on him to give me a really good deal, and I'll probably buy some from him. He's got like every Reaper Bones model that there is. And I will show you the rest of what's in those containers up there for this Destruction Army, and then also for the Death Army. So I'm able to have my infantry, and I'm actually able to build out, I'll show you at the end of this video, my pile of shame too, everything that I have yet to build. It's just a tremendous amount, so I'll have a lot more infantry too that I'm building. I basically haven't built any cavalry at all, so that's something that I'm gonna really work on building out. All right, I'm gonna drop this camera down again. Take it down another leg. Hopefully it won't hurt me this time. Smack me in the head. Oh, and this is not going to be even either because young people I was teaching how to make videos bent this thing on me. But I can probably get it pretty good. All right. This is my elf stuff, and it's got actually the record for the tallest dragon. That forest dragon is a 3D print back there. All right, so we're probably going to have to take some of this stuff out to really see it well. So these are 3D printed guys that go along with these 3D printed bows. And every time I get 3D printed like this, or any WarHammer kit that I build, I never have any of them look the same. I try to have them look as different as I possibly can. A lot of times I move weapons from the right to the left, you know. It's just a tremendous amount of work in order to do that. This is a metal unicorn, Reaper Bones model. I just love it. This is a metal Eldari thing, but I think it works. And it can double using it in 40K. This is a Ranger that I got 3D printed. They sent me two. Didn't even take long, and they sent me two. And I changed them a little bit so they were different. I don't know if you can really tell. Oh, I didn't have a base for it, so I put it on. They sent me these bases for dwarves, but I wanted to be grassland in Old World, so I didn't use them, but I used it to prop up this guy. This is a bunch of stuff that I got. A bunch of tombstones, bunch of evidence of civilization, just a whole bunch of things, a bunch of animals, horses, and stuff like that I got as a 3D print, sheep in a whole set. These awesome models are The Witcher Old World. And I've just primed, zenithilled, and really kind of speed painted them a little bit. And they're already starting to look awesome, I think. This is a .3D printed elf mount, stag mount. But my wife and I agreed, and I just have these attached with sticky tack right now. My wife and I agreed that it's far more awesome to use the Witcher Old World. That looks like a really scary looking, just takes it up to level 11 stag. And here's, I can't remember what they call this guy, a tree ancient or a branch. No, it's not a branch wraith, I don't think. Maybe it is. Or maybe that's the AOS name for it. But this is from Witcher Old World 2. Just speed painted. I'm going to be working more on this guy. He's going to turn out really awesome, I know, after I work on it. This is a GW Fire Phoenix model, even though the Frost is better. And it's got some Arena of the Planeswalkers little babies on the bottom that I just attached because I think it looks cool. And then this is one of the riders that came with the Star and Moon Dragon that I got. And I'm going to call this one the Moon Dragon. This shows you why you don't want stuff dusty, right? It's going to be hard. I'll probably have to use like alcohol or thinner or something and the airbrush to actually get these guys clean enough. This is just laying on there. I like the way he did the rocks, the base. It looks awesome. Like his airbrush paint was too runny or something like that. Or he probably just dry brushed the edges, I'm thinking. But I really like it. I really like the horns and stuff, although there's a kind of mist a little bit there. I like the way he did the tongue and the teeth and stuff. I love getting models that other people painted, especially like those talons just look like so real, don't they? I love getting stuff that other people have painted because they're so much better than I am. Here's my 3D printed forest dragon. Came with a lot of options. Just awesome. And the riders and everything that came with these 3D printed models that took like 2 months to come, but they were just spectacular once I finally got them. Came with so many options. Every possible weapon you could possibly want. It was awesome. There's some spearhead terrain back there. Here is a bow from Stormcast. And I used like a clear primer on top of the original gold color of the plastic, and then just kind of used like iridescent black, I think, over it, or maybe just a thin, just regular black. And then that guy will be my Star Dragon. And I wish he was blue rather than green, but I'm probably not going to change him. I really like the way he did that armor. That armor looks so real, especially the way that he shows that it's attached with those leather ropes and everything. It looks so amazing. Teeth could use a little touch up though. And again, it's got a little splurge on the horn. The other one had that too. Oh, maybe that's a hole in his horn. Okay, maybe that's supposed to be there. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it for those guys. Hopefully I won't have to spend as long putting these guys back as I did figuring out how they all fit in there. That's pretty promising. Thanks for your patience. It's probably going to be denser than it was. So I'm really looking forward to the release of the High Elves and then eventually the Wood Elves battalion boxes. But I do have Sylvaneth and I do have Lumineth, lots of Lumineth. So I can start working now. Lots of room on these shelves. This is great. Nice. Okay. Let's start over here with Death. Good thing the doctor doesn't tell you that, right? Let's start with Death and see where we can go from that after that. All right. I hope I didn't break that. This is so hard. But I feel so good about making a video. I haven't made one for so long. All right. See if there's anything new here. Corpse cart, 3D print. That's new. And everything else has been painted on a little bit. Like those, why can't I think? Hex rays. Not too much new here. Probably painted a little bit on her, and her. Or maybe did like a zenithal or something. Not much. Got some bat swarms from Reaper Bones. Did a little bit of work on my ghouls. A little bit of work on my harpy looking one. Oh, this is new. I built all those ghouls, and I'm just going to change them so everyone's different. I ordered like some bodies that I can cut apart and put different body parts. And then I made all the skeletons different. I ordered 20, they sent me 25. Made all the skeletons different with extra weapons that came as 3D prints that looked kind of like janky. Use those. I primed some more bat swarms. I wasn't sure. Extra bats that came with those bat swarms I wasn't sure what to do with. Little extra painting on the ghouls. There's the tombstones I got in the 3D print with those deer that I showed you. Okay. Right. Guess we'll move this over a little bit. Try not to step on my dog. He's just trying to chill while I'm doing all this. He played outside all day with the ball, so he's very tired. All right. Got my old road map kind of covered right now, but I'll probably do something else with these anyway, so. Oh, there's my old road map. I didn't even show it to you when I talked about it. Dog has decided to move. It's probably a good thing for him. All right, there's the very two lumineth that I built that I didn't even do anything with. That whelp is from The Witcher. I'm not sure what to do with it. That's from Cursed City. I've done some painting on that. I kind of like the way it turned out. Sorry, I'm covering the light. Yeah, I did a little painting on those elves. I mounted them on square bases. I decided not to be afraid to cut off the Arena of the Planeswalker bases that they were molded onto. Figured out how to do that with the flat part of the trim cutter, and it worked out fine. We mounted them. There's some Witcher models that are just zenithal. I got to do some work on them. I'm thinking about having merfolk be elves of the sea, wolves of the sea. Or, no, they're not called wolves of the sea. That's chaos. Whatever their ones of the sea are called. Sorry, Tobe. Sorry, baby. All right. Sorry for pointing the camera down. I'll make a video about those WarHammer books here. Fingerprints in the middle. Which I try not to do. All right. Now I'm going to be up on the ladder, and just this will be on the bed. And then it won't be as hokey as it was before for the rest of the video, I promise you. I'll be either on a ladder or on the ground, so it'll be better. Okay, so I've done some work on dwarves. Can't wait to show you. All right, so I made an Anvil of Doom. I just used like a dressing cup and used milliput, and I molded it out. And then those are some dwarves, gunners that I bought as 3D prints. And I might use them for 40K, I don't know. I don't really like their flat heads. I'll probably do something different with them. But I like them anyways. Just primed Panzer Gray VAO. And then I have crossbowers. It's pretty nice. Here's a bear that came with those 3D prints. Like the deer that I showed you with the elves. And then there's a giant model from Reaper Bones. I'm not sure what to do with them. I don't know if a king could be that big. I really like these Reaper Bones models with the clear magic coming off of them. Or runic power in the case of Old World, right? And I was thinking about having those be my guys that work with the forge. This is going to be my forge. That plastic box for toothpicks is going to be my forge. And I'm going to have those guys around it. And then that guy right there is from Cursed City, right in front of the forge. And then these are metal slayers. And the paint job is Elven Armor, Army Painter with Abier, no, not Abier, the metallic paint that I buy in bulk. Starts with a C. Calyard, that's it, Calyard. Just a lighter color of metallic blue on the top. So they've just been zenithilled, I haven't painted them yet. I think they're going to turn out awesome when I do get them done. I think my dog is giving up on me. All right. Now I have fingerprints on two sides, but put the side that's the most fingerprinted on the top. All right, over here, got all my paint. I wish I had plexiglass doors, or preferably glass doors to cover that to really keep them dust-free. But at least they're under those shelves, so they're a little bit better. There's all my dice and everything that I use for Old World. And I got a bunch of templates and stuff like that, everything else I need, scatter dice and stuff. Keep all my 40K and Kill Team terrain on the left, and all my AOS and Old World, I haven't built any Old World yet, terrain on the right. Got to get going on that. Building that Old World terrain. Let's see if this will sit up here. I think it will. All right. Let's see. Then kind of face it up. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. These have to come down. Maybe I cannot do show you what I'm working on for Britonia and Empire. I'm not sure if I'm going to do an Empire army or not yet. I have some 3D printed war machines, so for Empire if I do decide to do it. I should have prepared by having this stuff ready. I guess I'll just show you the bottom. Well, it's not really going to work out that well. So I think I'll skip that part. I think a lot of this is stuff you've seen before. But I've expanded the scope of all these armies, so probably these boxes will now be just full of infantry and cavalry. And they'll probably be completely filled up now that I've discovered 3D printing, buying stuff used off of eBay, kit bashing in the works, stealing stuff from other miniature games. I want to go to like Goodwills and just buy games with miniatures and just see how I could use them in Overworld. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we're getting pretty close to the end here, I promise you. And of course, I'll make my 4,000 point or whatever it is proxy army video. I'll probably be more than that now for all this stuff. So you have that yet to see. Okay, so I'm really super heavy into WarHammer Overworld right now, but I did pick up the Hivestorm kill team. So shows you how that goes. Maybe 2 years from now I'll just be totally into 40K, who knows. All right, these are going to be some elven trees for Overworld. They're AOS models. I have Aquilon from Hivestorm and the Tau from Hivestorm and Chelnath. I have a couple tanks. Oh, I forgot to tell you, that's what that bottom shelf is going to be for, is my Soritas tanks. So I got that stuff yet to build. And then I got Necron and Astartes. And I got Sanctus Imperialis, the whole set. I was able to find it unopened. And then also found the Imperialis sector with all three of those huge buildings or conglomerations of buildings, Ministratum and the other ones. These are from Death Road Forest, old classic models I was so lucky to get. And I'm thinking about even using those in Overworld and having them be dangerous terrain, because they are in the Death Road Forest set from 3rd edition. Those came from Slanesh. I have the Seekers that go on top of these mounts that I've already built and painted. Yeah, I guess that's probably something. Oh, yeah, no, I showed you in the Chaos. Yeah, because I'm hoping they'll get included eventually. Oh, I'm happy about this. This is from 2018. It's kind of beat up, but I got it cheaper, so hopefully I didn't lose out because of my economy. This is the kill team that's got all the big demons and stuff for Death Guard. And they'll be good Nurgle demons if Overworld eventually puts them in. You know, I think they're going to carry the story forward. Got some Terminators. I got the Vulcus, really nice terrain, although some of it is a repeat from Chelnath. So I'm going to look at trying to modify and try to use all the terrain I have, but I definitely want it to be different, just like all the models. I have Into the Dark. I'm not sure if I have enough to play the 40K book that was just released for that Into the Dark and Gallo Dark and all that stuff sets. There was like a starter set or whatever that had like double the amount of terrain as this, and I might need some more terrain to do it. I have my Tyranids. I have my leftover Orcs and Goblins stuff from the Battalion box, and so I could just build a ton more infantry. Okay, I like to pick up some Boar Boys and maybe some Wolf Goblins. I also want to give, because there's like 5 sprues or whatever of 2 different ones, I want to give one of each sprue to a friend that I made at the doctor who plays Blood Bowl, because I think he might want to kit bash those. There's my Bretonia stuff. What I built so far is the Peasant Archers. I want to build the Vion next. I got a Green Knight metal build. Looking forward to that. Sometimes I find this stuff like cheaper if it comes all the way from Eastern Europe and stuff. There's some Bretonia and Empire 3D printed stuff too that I need to build. Got my movement trays to build. Let's see, what else is there? Something else there too. Looks like terrain. I should know what the, oh, I know what that is. That's Old World. Fences and gates or whatever the set is called. And then also the big one, the farmhouse and everything. So that's my 40K and my some of my Old World. And then I got Warriors of Chaos. I got lots of Slaves to Darkness stuff in there to build, just a ton. Just a ton. Demons of Corn. Beasts of Chaos and Old World. Some more Slaves to Darkness. There's also in bags, there's all of the, from the first set of AOS, the Corn. There's like 2 of each guy, so I got some weapons now. I showed them to you that are 3D printed, so I can change all those and make them different. And probably move their weapon from their right to their left to make them look really different. Got a ton of Soulblight Gravelords that I'm going to use for vampire accounts. Just a ton of that stuff to build. Oh, and then I'm also building a dragon. I got enough leftover parts from 3D print, and I picked this up in Europe for like $7 or whatever. It's the body of a zombie dragon, and I got some wings coming. Untamed Beasts and Corn bits. I like putting bits in these little tackle boxes. I buy my daughter and I fishing gear and then move it from those boxes to a big box that I have, that I can have it all in one place, and then I use those little boxes for WarHammer. Sylvan Death, my wife is interested in painting that, so I've actually recruited her, which is ultimate goal of a lot of gamer guys, is to get a gamer girl going with you. Dark Elves, I got the dragon, the guy on the dragon. In case they bring it back, hint, hint, hint. I hope they do. All right, let's see what this is. Nighthaunt and Stormcast. So only like maybe 1 or 2 models, or maybe possibly 3 of the Nighthaunt and the Stormhaunt and the Stormcast are new models, because there was like an alteration for building them. which I haven't built yet. So what I want to do is kit bash all of those guys so they're really different, right? And then I got Spirit Hosts, my Vampire Count's army. I got the Chaos terrain that I was talking about. Oh, Walls and Fences, that's what it was. Okay, so that's where some of that stuff is. The Varanite Mining, I got 2 different sets of that. So I'm going to be able to build a really awesome chaos-themed terrain set. Death Army, bits, Incidental Beasts and Slanesh bits. Those look like dwarves. Ton of dwarf stuff. Got a Dwarf King. Got Lumineth. Like 2 sets. I got like the Vanguard and I got like that big box set. And then this is all, look at all these bits that I got for elves. Most of these are from 3D printed. And then some more animals from that 3D printed too. Lots of elf looking weapons and stuff that just came extra with those 3D prints. I'm actually really, really happy with the 3D prints, and it's like I can work without solvent glue. I can work with super glue, which is a little less toxic. Maybe it is, who knows how it'll turn out in the end. And I can get like a huge army of infantry or whatever all put together in like a couple hours. It's awesome. It's so much faster than building, especially those monopose models. And that's pretty much it. When I open a box, I save artwork. Ton of it behind there too, right? There's Imperialis sector falling down. My airbrush. I make these little paint handles with pill bottles and sticky tack. And here's all my basing materials. And my Citadel skulls. And my tufts of grass, which I'll finally use now in Old World. I always felt like AOS at 40K there wasn't grass anymore, like it was gone, like it died. It went extinct. That's pretty much it. If you stayed to the end, please check your subscription status, and thank you very much for staying till the end. And drop a like if you liked it, and make a comment because I answer each and every one of my comments. Thank you. Take care.